5 verse 4. Blessed is the man whom thou choosest and causest to approach unto thee, that he may dwell in thy courts. We shall be satisfied with the goodness of thy house, even of thy holy temple. He says you're blessed when you dwell in the courts. All right, now there are three. Flip your page back over real quick, and because I got to lay this out real quick. What he's talking about, there's an outer court. See where if you have this picture right here with the fire, where that fire's at, the altar of sacrifice. All right, that is the outer court. All right, anyone can go in there because they bring their sacrifices. Matter of fact, cool fact that I just learned: when they would bring their lamb through. Now, I will also tell you that if you look at that picture really, really close, you'll see on the one side someone has a donkey, the other side someone has sheep. I found this online. The donkey was not a good sacrifice. So look, that they could not enter with that sacrifice. The priest would stand there and guard the gate and would not let him in. But the lambs, they were approved sacrifices. They would let them in. And when they would go in, before they would kill the lamb for the atonement, the person who was bringing the lamb in had to take his hands, place them on top of the lamb, and transfer. Talk about the laying on of hands. It happened in the Old Testament. And he would transfer the sins that he committed to that lamb by laying the hands on its head. And then as hard as it is to do, the priest would hand the knife to the man or the woman, and they would have to cut the throat of the animal. Because God wanted them to know and not forget that their sins caused that animal to have to die. I'm telling you, if we could get a revelation of how real it was that Jesus bled and died for us, it would stop sin.
Yeah.
If it was you that drove the nails into his hands and feet, every time you sin, that's exactly what's happening, is you're driving nails in his hands and feet. You're the one that's thrusting that spear in his side. You're the one placing the crown of thorns on his head. You're the one taking the whip and beating him every time we sin. That's what it was there for. But see, we forget. We let those images go. If we had to do like the Old Testament, where they had to sacrifice their own animals and watch it bleed to death so that they would remember not to go out and commit a sin. Powerful stuff. And so anyone was allowed in that outer court where they did the sacrifice. And then there was the veil there that would go into the holy place. Only priests, Levitical priests, were allowed in that holy place. All right? And then there was another veil that would go into the holiest of holies where the Ark of the Covenant was, the Spirit of God. Only the high priest was allowed in that room. Now there's three different areas. The outer court where everybody was welcome, the inner court where the priest was welcome, and the holiest of holies where only the high priest was welcome. All right? And it's significant because even the Bible says that there is body, soul, and spirit. Yeah. That's what this is a representation of. Our body, our soul, and our spirit. This, again, is a representation of us. This is what God desires. But the only way we can have access into the holy place, and I'm getting way ahead of myself here, is to have the right sacrifice. And the only way we can go from the holiest of holies, or a holy place to the holiest of holies, is to make sure that we're covered by the blood. Amen. It's the blood that gains the high priest's entrance into the holiest of holies, because then he sprinkles it on the ark. And so that allows the presence of God to flow in us. All right, but it's body, soul, and spirit. But I want to talk tonight just for a few more minutes, real quick, on the outer court. And not even the things of the outer court, but if you flip back over to that door, the door of the outer court. Give me 10 more minutes here, and I'm going to try to have this done because this is so important to me. All right? Understanding that it's white all the way around, except for one place. the door. And there's not 2 doors, there's not 4 doors, there's one. There's one. There is no other way that we can get to heaven except through Jesus Christ. Men can try other ways, they can say other things, but I'm telling you, you have to have a revelation of Jesus Christ. People say, well, it doesn't matter, believe on Him. I'm telling you, there is a process. He did not get this specific on the tabernacle for us just to say we can do whatever we want and go to heaven. Amen. He didn't. And so you see again the white all the way around except for here at the door. And if you look at that beautiful colors on the door, I'm going to give you some things about this door that are very powerful. All right. First of all, write John chapter 14:6. You have to turn it. I'll tell you what it says because most of you should already know this. John chapter 14:6. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. You cannot gain access into the court of God except through the door. All right. Jesus is what allowed us access. Now, I want to give you the dimensions of the gate. The dimensions are, it is 20 cubits wide. All right, 20 cubits wide. Now that's important for us to understand because it's 4 times 5 cubits. All right, and we're going to get the 5 cubits in a minute, but there's a reason why it's 4 times because people believe it's from the 4 corners of the earth. Jesus has His arms outstretched, and He's saying, Matthew 11:28, He says, come unto me, all ye that labor, Matthew 11:28, and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. That door almost looks like the wide arms of Jesus going to the 4 corners of the earth. That's why it was 4 times 5, or 20 cubits long. It was Jesus opening up, saying, this is the way. If you come to me, you'll gain access. All right? 5 is a lowly number. All right? It's the number of a man who is dependent upon God. That's why it's 4 by 5. But it's also the height of the gate. All right? It's 5 cubits high. Which, again, is significant because it's somebody who is dependent upon God. Without Jesus, we can't gain access.